This is INCRadio, DZEM 954, the voice of truth, the official radio station of the Church of Christ or Iglesianicristo.
You're listening to INCRadio.
Broadcasting live from Chicago, Illinois. DZEM 954 AM station. Here to bring you great conversations about faith, people, places, culture, and recent events all around the district. Join us on YouTube at INCRadio.org. Hello, Northern Midwest and the rest of the world. It's time to get this show started.
Yes, it is time to get this show started. Hello, everyone. Welcome to INC Radio Northern Midwest. I am one of your hosts for today, Alsom Janvel Cruz, live here from Rockford, Illinois. And joining me here is a couple of my friends who will join us in our discussion. I'll introduce our main host first. They're in, I think that's Farmington Hills, right?
Yes. Still in Michigan, but it's Farmington Hills, Michigan. Hello, everyone. Tony Rose Valenzuela here, broadcasting. Yes, we're live. It's currently 5:01 p.m. Eastern Time. And I think we're hopping back and forth because I guess I'm the main host, but we also have another host over there in Illinois. Hi, Abe.
Glad to be back. I missed you guys last week, but glad to be back with you all once again. April Romero from Bloomingdale, Illinois. Glad to be here with you on this nice and cool Saturday. Finally, the weather's changing, appropriate for fall. So glad to be here with you all.
Yes, we also have someone joining us from New Jersey. And some of you might have met her already, but I'm going to let her introduce herself. So go ahead.
Hello, everyone. I'm Kathleen Fajardo de Guzman. Usually you see me in New Jersey, but today's location, I am in Manhattan, New York. Happy to be joining friends here from all across the Midwest. I forget the name. Still in the Midwest. Okay. Yeah.
Great Lakes.
I get lost. Is it Great Lakes?
Yes. Great Lakes, Northern Plains. Like those are the two.
Oh, okay. Well, at least I'm in the middle part of the country. That's as far as I know.
But thank you for joining us in today's discussion, since we are going to be talking about event planning. So let's go ahead and get right into that.
Yeah, event planning. I don't know that I've been like the main facilitator for like events, but I feel like I've been involved in different kinds of things. I don't know about for you, EJ and Abe, what events you've helped plan, but that's a large part of the reason why Kat is with us today, because we're going to be, getting some of her answers on these questions, because sometimes event planning can be scary. It doesn't have to be though, right? When you think of events, maybe you might be out there for those who are planning a wedding. You might be kind of terrified about like, oh, what am I getting into? What I have to think about, all the things on your list, right? So when you are planning events for EJ and A, stuff that you guys have done, what's been first on your lists? Like what's your first steps when you've been doing different planning?
I'm with because one of our another one shared their answers with us. Darlene from she said that when she plans an event, the first thing that comes to mind is what it's for, and I think that's the same for me as well. Like I think of like, well, what kind of event is this? Is this gonna be like like a private event, which is just like family and friends, or is this gonna be like a big event with like more people, and then trying to figure out, I guess, what like what it's for, like the type of event that's gonna be. Oh wait, I already said it. Yeah, the scope. There you go. The scope. Yeah, the scope and the type of the event as well. Like, like the first things that I can say.
Okay, yeah. So events for 6 to 10 people, very different for events of 500 people.
500, yeah, 500 people.
Yeah, so that does play a large part in that, right? So it could be how many people, right? And then the type of event, as you mentioned, where is it a professional thing? Is it, something more casual, like a hangout? What are some things that you're thinking of? What about you, Kat? What are some things that are first on your list when you think of planning events?
First thing that I think of is how many people are coming. What's the occasion, and then how many people are coming? So, and when is it? Because how long you have time to plan really will impact your planning. Like, do I have to work on this every day? Can I work on this once a week? Do I have time to get my friends to help? So that's where it starts off. So it's, I guess what's the event? Where is it? When is it? And then the rest follows very quickly, depending on your deadline or when the event is.
It's all the who, what, when, where, and then the how, right? It's
Yeah.
like the
Well,
five.
you know the why. First, you have to know the why, because then, yeah, all those questions, all the H's and W's of the typical thing. But the deadline, definitely. When is the event? Is I guess, the biggest factor that will influence all of your actions in the upcoming weeks and months, and hopefully a year. Sometimes, we have an event that takes a year to plan, like walking down the aisle and things like that. So hopefully you have at least a year to plan, those huge and very expensive events further out.
Speaking of expensive, actually, Mylene, May, and Kailali there in our live chat actually mentioned budget is the first thing that they consider. Guests and budget is the first thing they consider when they're planning their activities.
Okay, some things that I didn't think of. The when, right? Because that can add to this potential stress. Doesn't have to be stressful, but potential stress, and then the budget. So that brings to mind also, because I know there's some people out there who use different tools for planning. Do you guys use any specific thing when it comes to your planning? Are you a calendar person? Are you a, not promoting, but like Excel, Excel person? What type of stuff do you guys like to use to help you plan stuff?
I'm old school, Tony. My ideas start on pen and paper until I
Yeah.
have to communicate it to other people and say, okay, this is what I have on my list.
Now I'm
Uh,
with you there, Kat. I also
maybe
use.
maybe on a shared doc eventually, right? So that I can see, because the list will get longer, right? And then you need to add subcategories, and then you'll probably have to add, depending on what it is, you might have to add an address list, names, addresses. So maybe you need to do a mail merge, depending on what you're creating. So it really depends on the event, the scope of the event, and the different steps. If people have to RSVP, if you have to make flyers. So, but definitely starts on pen and paper. First, it starts in my brain. I might send myself some text messages, save it on an app, and then it goes to pen and paper when I have to flesh it out, and then it gets transferred onto a shared document. Because for sure, I will not be the only person working on this event. I might be the one who started it, but I won't be the one ending it by myself. So yeah,
I have
so
a follow up to that.
I'm low tech, and I also not promoting. I really like to, well, the one that starts with a C. We like to draw on it. We make graphics. We make flyers. They also do presentations. I see Tony trying to. Did you get it?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that
Yeah,
one.
yeah, I got it,
That one,
got it,
because
got
you can also draw diagrams on that one. You can also draw diagrams. So if you have to do table layouts, or like stage layouts, it's very easy to use, and their mobile app is also not difficult. I'd say it's not perfect, but it's not difficult to use either. So you need to be able to draw stuff sometimes.
I have a follow up to that idea, because when you mentioned you send messages to yourself or you write down stuff. Because what my problem is that I noticed when I try to plan stuff, I feel like so many ideas come at once, right? And it's for different things, not necessarily all for the same thing. Sometimes it's for decoration, sometimes it's for like logistic details. So how do you kind of filter everything in like whatever tool that you're using? Do you kind of just like write it down?
Um, if I'm planning an event and I'm at work, and it's not a work related event, it's a personal event or even a church event or a friend's event, I will write everything down on my phone. I'll save it in a message group to myself, or I'll actually send it to whoever I'm working with. It's like, "Hey, I'm just gonna, dump some ideas here, just so that I don't forget, and then I'll sort through it later because ideas come and go so fast. You can build on some ideas, and you can, some people have to vote on your ideas. So in the beginning of planning an event, I feel like the more ideas, the better, so that everyone can weigh in and say what they think would work out best, taking into consideration budget and timing. Preparation is key for any event in your life, for work, for church, for anything. So, uh, Tony, once you have to write it down, even if it's on a piece of paper on your desk, you have to write it down because you never know if it's going to come back again.
Sticky notes everywhere. Not promoting, but
I don't do sticky notes because I feel like I take them for granted and feel like they're going to be there, but sometimes they get lost.
Get lost. Unless you put them like on a notebook or something.
Like they don't stick, right? Or someone moves them, or you stick them on somewhere, a wind goes by, and then it's like all your masterpiece is on that one sticky note, and it's all gone. So yeah, no sticky notes.
I would say
In a more permanent place.
all my plans are in this notebook, like the events, everything.
I
Reminders.
also don't trust notebooks because you could lose those.
No, I have this in one place, so I know where it is, so I have it in just one place. I never move it from there.
you don't bring it with you anywhere. That's my
No.
problem. I bring stuff with me, and then I've lost some.
I have
I
my
feel like
phone.
I feel like depending on the bag, that's what there's a different notebook or some kind of piece of paper in every bag, depending on the bag. So rather than having to search through my bags, and sometimes even when I'm walking in the street, especially when I'm commuting, I'll see something on a billboard that I think we might be able to adopt for an upcoming project or an event. So I'll either take a picture of it and I'll save it. So those are also ways to accumulate your brainstorming ideas for your group, is to take pictures, screenshots. Even when you're watching TV shows, sometimes there's commercials where they have a concept or a look or a vibe that you think is the thing that you want to have at your event. Definitely those are things that you should somehow memorialize, whether it's a screen recording or you look it up on the internet and get the actual full clip. Because a lot of the times the people we work with are like, I don't get it. You can explain so much, but then you're like, yeah, I still don't get it. So nothing speaks better than a real life example, right? So
I'm glad that you brought that last part up, Kat, because that's something that I've run into in terms of different challenges I face, like trying to explain like your ideas or trying to get across what you're trying to say. So what are some, I guess, challenges that you guys have encountered, and the easier parts of planning, like both ends of it? What's been easy and what's been a little bit more challenging for you in terms of planning stuff?
I have to say, whoever made those comments about the budget is staying within budget is always a challenge because everyone wants the best, right? But then when the best has to be done in under $5, these are the times where we have to be creative. It's like, oh, we only have $20 for this one thing. Okay, let's be creative. And that's when people start taking stock. What do I have at home that I can use so we can save some money? So
before they start planning, like let's say for decorations, before they start planning, you already know, okay, this is your budget. This is how much you can spend.
For people who who are involved in planning events, they already know the range, right? Especially if it's something in your region, and renting equipment as well. They probably have rented equipment before. So if you have to rent equipment, those people would be best to give you recommendations about vendors that they've checked out. So Tony's question was, what are the easy parts and what are the challenges? Those are like really big questions. The easy parts are getting your friends to come on board, figuring out which friends can come and help you do little things, right? Because there's a lot of details in planning, especially if you have a short time frame. So if you know someone has a talent for decorations, someone has a talent for using Excel, someone has a talent for math, someone has a talent for knowing other people who can help you accomplish whatever in the time that you're given. you have those people. So sometimes planning an event, your position really is just to coordinate and know people and ask them to help you and have them commit to that assignment. So and also checking up on them, not to micromanage, depending again on your deadline. If you have a lot of time to prepare, then you don't have to be on top of them. But if you have a short time, you have to, of course, clearly you have to monitor their progress. And if they have any problems, troubleshoot as quick as you can. So I guess the challenging part really is time.
Mm.
Time really makes everything more complicated and it makes everything more expensive. So the more free things you can get, whether people volunteering their time, their talent, their space, makes everything so much easier because the money that you save in one part of the project will help another part uh, go a long way. So that's really what it is. And I think for if you're planning a big event, you should expect not to get a lot of sleep. And it's not so much that it's stressful, it's that you have to make a lot of decisions.
Mm.
So when you're coordinating with the more people you coordinate with, the more decisions you have to make, and then the more you have to check up. So, and then if things, you also have to have like, I would say 2 layers of backup plans. Because there are some things that you can anticipate for planning events. And I don't like it's such a general thing, right? So sometimes, especially now the changing of the season in our regions, the weather, if you're going to have an outdoor event, you have to have a backup plan. What if it rains? What if it snows? What if there's a hurricane or a tornado? Are we gonna change the date? Are we gonna do have an indoor venue? Also, are we gonna have any giveaways? How are we gonna register people? Are we gonna do it online? Are we gonna so these are all the small things that you should think of as you're planning. And like I said before, it starts off with an idea, right? So all the ideas, you've already started your preparation. So preparation is key when it comes to these things. So um, I think I think I've answered your question, right? Tony, challenges and easy
Yeah.
things. Yeah. The easy thing is also to hang out with your friends and to joke about, the challenges that you're facing. And also to discover who knows what and who knows who. And also to challenge yourself in growing out of your comfort zone when it comes to learning how to do things. We're all beginners in the beginning, right?
Yeah. And I feel like I have like memory recall of you and Darlene just kind of going back and asking those kinds of questions. That's where I learned to kind of ask more questions when it comes to the planning process because we forget to consider those different aspects. Like, do we need accommodations for like this and this? And I was like, oh yeah, I never thought of that before. So unless you really kind of sit down and make the time for that, right? Like potential thinking of the potential problems is one of the things that she mentioned in her answer, her written answer for us. So being able to kind of think of those ahead just to get ahead of the curve, right? Anticipating potential problems so that if it does become a problem, at least you already have like what you mentioned, plan A, plan B, plan C. But
Yeah.
sometimes it can be challenging, like even keeping a positive attitude, right, through the different challenges. So how do you cope with that, like just getting everyone to not lose their, I guess, motivation or their morale through the process?
Well, depending on what event it is, there's always a happy moment that everyone's hoping to get to, right? The start of the event, the end of the event, seeing friends, social events. And when you start to see it come together, everyone gets excited. But in those difficult moments or disappointing moments, you have to always know that because, as Christians, we always do our prayers, and whenever we face challenges, we trust that God is in charge of what's happening. So if you're getting deterred from going one way, you know that you're going the right way because that's what God intended for us. So that's always something that I remind, anyone who's helping on a project that God always provides the solution. And even though it's not exactly what we wanted it to be, maybe our vision, it always turns out to be better in some aspect. And again, we're all learning. We always have to give ourselves grace, forgive ourselves. Sometimes we have to sleep, We also have, work in school. We have things that happen in our lives. So we have to make room for those and understanding for when those things happen and not let it, and not get bogged down by it. What the calendar doesn't stop because you do. So just know that TikTok, TikTok, whatever shows up that day, that's what's the event. So trying to make the best of it really is the best attitude to have, and just going with the flow, and also doing everything with a smile. Like, oh, okay, that didn't work out. All right, we'll try something else. That's the kind of attitude you should have when you're planning an event.
I was gonna ask you what we can do to be better event planners, but I feel like you nailed it also in your answer just now. Just being
Well,
able.
good because I see the clock ticking and your show's almost over.
Was there anything else that Kat you want to add, EJ or Abe? Anything about how we can be better event planners? There was a lot of great tips from Kat.
Mhm.
Good
I just want to
reminder.
reiterate the point of like giving yourself grace. Like, cause I like there has been an event I planned where it didn't go as planned because of like one factor or another. But even if you fail that first time, don't be too discouraged. To like use that as a learning opportunity to your next event that you're gonna plan, because you're gonna succeed. Like what Kat said earlier, everyone's a beginner in the beginning, right?
For sure. Abe, any final thoughts?
I mean, like I know at times we may focus on like the little details, but I mean in the end it's just the event itself which makes everyone happy. Like the presence of people makes everyone happy. It's not necessarily how many flowers there are on a table or something like that, but yeah, just enjoy the company of the people that you're with. And I think that should just trump or triumph over all those little details. I mean, you can plan as much as you are able to, but like what Kat mentioned, things will just work out how they are and what God intends and has and what is His plan. So yeah, just enjoy the ride. I don't know if that makes sense, but yeah, just enjoy whatever happens and use it as learning experience to make the next events even more successful.
Yeah, a lot of great stuff mentioned today. For me personally, I just want to share have someone to follow up because that's always really nice to have is someone like following up on stuff, reminding, right? Just like, oh yeah, I forgot about that because sometimes your mind gets kind of cluttered when you're thinking about all these things. So it's always nice to have someone to
You
kind of.
have to have a checklist, Tony.
Yes,
Someone has to have a checklist and always checking those boxes.
yes, for sure. Thanks, Kat, and thanks to Darlene and Mylene who also contributed to their thoughts on this discussion. But the word that I do want to take away from today is preparation. Right, preparation is really what you need for any kind of planning. So with that, we do want to teach everyone today how to sign for our Christian Society for the Deaf. This is your sign: plan or prepare. So let's watch.
This is your Hello, everyone. My name is Sister Sophia, and I'm the secretary for the Christian Society for the Deaf here in the District of Great Lakes. Now, for today's sign of the week, we're going to learn how to sign the word plan or prepare. Now, it's very simple. All you have to do is with both of your hands, you're going to hold them out just like this and make sure that they're facing each other. And all you're going to do is do one sweep motion. You can do from right to left or left to right. That's how you sign the word plan or prepare. Thank you for watching today's Sign of the Week, and we hope to see you more in future activities. This is your sign.
Yes, and speaking of future activities, well, future and past activities, I should say. Let's see the past activities that we had last week, or no, in the last 2 weeks, I should say. The congregation of Bloomingdale had their nature walk, and I think that was at Edwards Orchard.
Yes.
Yeah, go
It's
ahead and talk about it now,
I
Abe,
mean,
since you were
it's
there.
I was. For our local congregation, Bloomingdale, it's become almost like a yearly thing. Um, Although the orchard is about like an hour away from us, we still make it an effort to go there every year. We go to the orchard, pick apples, enjoy the fall treats that they have there. I know those in our YouTube live chat also are fans of apple donuts. We can
Really.
always have that. There's lots of nice treats to have there, but more especially, we enjoyed spending time with our families and our friends who were able to join us. And we always love the free samples that you can take from right from the tree. So yes, it was a lot of fun for everyone involved, young and old, those who have always gone, those who've it has been their first time joining this type of activity or having this activity in general. But yeah, it was lots of fun. I'm sure like here in the Great Lakes district, there are many orchards like that. So it is a great activity if you haven't gone.
I saw apple. I saw coffee there next to the apple donuts. Are those apple coffee?
Apple coffee. I've not tried apple coffee.
Like
Um,
like apple
Apple
spice.
caramel. I've had apple caramel coffee lately. It's okay.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's all right. It's not what you think it would be.
Tastes like apple, or does it taste like caramel? Well, we'll figure that out. But for our upcoming activities, we have the family cooking activity on October 13th, the Benhi Friendship Day on October 19th, and the Kadiwa Formal on October 26th. And actually, tomorrow on October 13th as well at 6 p.m. Central Time, we have our district-wide TSV special gathering. So go ahead and for those of you who are TSV, that is for you to attend. So that's tomorrow at 6 p.m. Central Time or 7 p.m. Eastern Time. Yes, and next up is.
yes, everyone's favorite segment, I believe, in our YouTube live chat. Those who've been hashtagging throughout the entire show, we thank you so much for doing so. But from last week, we're going to read off who are our hashtag winners. Sorry, we don't have the music this time around, but I don't think we'll ask everyone else. Oh, okay. They
And there
volunteered to
you
do
Oh,
it.
no,
go. Sound effects.
They'll volunteer to do themselves. So, Tony, you're gonna be my background music while I read it. Is that what it is? So, let's see. For fourth place, we actually have a tie with the local congregations of Rockford and Louisville. Again, they are fourth place. Fourth individual is Ivy Agsalud from Bloomingdale. So, congratulations to you. Third place will go to the local congregation of Park Ridge with my mom, Lily Romero, being third place individually. Second place local congregation goes to Lake County, Illinois, with the individual username ADCAIS. I don't know how to pronounce that. And if you are in our YouTube live chat, please let us know who you are so that we can mention you by name. Because I know I speak on behalf of all of us. We may have a hard time pronouncing your name in future broadcasts. But last but not least, first place overall local congregation goes to Bloomingdale once again with uh, also once again Rachel Weiser taking first place. So congratulations! I see you in our YouTube live chat as well. Many of you are in our YouTube live chat today, so thank you so much for joining our show and continue to hashtag as our show wraps up. But very quickly, before we give our final greetings, I know it is a little windy, maybe, but any final greetings or shout outs that you would like to give?
Absolutely. Shout out to the District of New Jersey, especially to my district minister, Brother Alex Reyes, and our CFO, Brother Bernard Garzon. And also, happy anniversary to my loving husband, Philip, who is lovingly holding my tripod right.
Oh, so sweet. Thank you so much for joining our show, Kat, and say hi to your husband as well for all of us. Also, quick shout out just because I wasn't here last week because I want to give my thanks and shout out to my cousin Joey Toledo from Dallas, South Central States. He got married this past Monday, so that's why I was not here last week. So congratulations to you and your wife, Melody. Congratulations, and love you both so much. And we love you all in our YouTube live chat as well. We like to greet for our districts, Great Lakes, our Assistant District Minister, Brother Art Agag, and our District Minister, Brother Ermin Bendicio, as well as for the Northern Plains District, their District Minister, Brother Elmer Parungao. We'd also like to greet especially our Subsea President CFO Coordinator, Brother Angelo Aranio V. Manalo, and our Executive Minister, Brother Eduardo V. Manalo. Thank you so much for allowing our districts to share the activities that we have going on here, and also allowing us to use this as our platform to share our faith. Thank you so much for tuning in. Please continue to share this broadcast if you know anyone who may have struggles with event planning. This is a great tool for them to listen to, and continue to share it as well with your friends, your loved ones, anyone you know. Don't forget to join us. Maybe mark this on your to-do list as well. INCRadio Northern Midwest every Saturday at 4 p.m. Central Time, 5 p.m. Eastern Time. That's 5 a.m. in the Philippines. Thank you so much. Continue to be phenomenal with everything you do, including those events that you will soon plan, if you haven't done so already. Thank you so much. Have a good day, everyone.
This is INCRadio, DZEM 954, the voice of truth, the official radio station of the Church of Christ, or iglesianicristo.
Welcome to INC